Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Mili reaction. Of course, it is SAIKAI. It is the time for that song. I know this came out like a week ago, but I've got my schedule and I had to stick to it. So today is the day I'm recording it, and you're all going to get to see my opinions about this song. Hopefully it's good. I've never had a bad experience with Mili, but I'm always afraid the one bad one is right around the corner, and I doubt it's this time. But it always haunts me a little bit, wondering if that day will ever come, even though I surely hope it never does. So without further ado, let's go! Gonna preemptively turn on closed captions just in case. I don't know if they're baked into this one or not. Oh. Looks like they might be. Absolutely beautiful intro. They are.
Was young and lost. You showed up and had my doors unlocked. Like threads, petals unfold.
It's so tender.
A red you have shown me that I am still.
Sorry, that got very bright, very quick.
Of caring for someone else, that I still bear the same innocence inside. 'Cause now
God. Putting on that tension right before the chorus. Love that there. A tasteful solo. Is that a classical guitar?
I knew I must.
I'm loving what they're doing with the drums recently. It's been multiple songs now. The drums have been on point.
The truth is that you rather spend our limited time together. Protection alone is not enough. Providing cannot fill an empty cup.
This story is also really different for me in the context of Limbus Company, at the very least. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. A lot more pressure right there.
What do I know about love? How can
They let that hang there.
create what I've never had? All I know is that I must keep you thriving. If nutrients are what you lack, I will water you with every drop of blood I have.
Man.
Now I know that sacrifice is the easy path. My absence cannot ever change the facts. I wanted a very
Oh man, it's gorgeous.
for you.
I wish I had a lighter on my my phone nearby.
And this is not for sayonara. Will you forgive me at last?
This when I said tender earlier, I didn't think it was gonna be like that all the way through. I legitimately expected it to like shift by the end and like get more angry or something. And I know I kind of said during the main chunk of this that the emotion of this, it feels different compared to other like Mili songs, even within Limbus's context. And I still think that's very true. This story was doing something more impressive than usual, and that's saying something. Reading over the lyrics again just to make sure, I am confident in saying that this song is probably one of the most emotionally pressing songs that Mili has ever written. And it's not even because it's something that I can personally relate to, because I really don't relate to this story. I've never had this sort of experience in my life, and of course what that is, I will be getting to. But the first thing I want to say is that the S is not for sayonara line is so fucking clever when the song's name is SAIKAI, which basically means reunion in Japanese. So that's just really fucking cool. Just the concept that they don't say it in the song, but they let the context of the title speak for itself there. And if you have any sense of media literacy at all, you're able to put that together pretty easily, that it does not mean goodbye, it means reunion. It means a lack of separation in general, and no matter what happens, we will be together. And that ties into all of the other lyrical stuff about this song, which mostly just feels like it's a found family sort of situation, mostly like almost adoptive in a way. Like the context of the song is basically talking about somebody who doesn't believe that there is enough time to spend with this person, that there's also like an emotional distance that they have for this other person, but they're trying their damnedest, similar to a mother and a child. But at the same time, they're constantly at odds with themselves, believing that they have the ability to be the person this other person needs. I'm not entirely sure what the context is there. I'm not going to look into it because I feel like that would be spoiling the fun of reading all of the lore dumps that you guys write, but that's kind of the general vibe I'm getting from this song, because the lyrics are pretty straightforward this time around, and even though there is some metaphorical stuff in there like Mili loves to do, this is one of their most straightforward story songs in lyrics alone. So I'm able to pretty quickly, you know, connect the dots on there and be like, oh man, what a gorgeous track, beautiful message, because it could be, you know, found friends, it could be like an adoptive situation, somebody who is trying their best to be a maternal or paternal figure to whatever child or something at some point in the story. I know that the world of Limbus Company isn't exactly fucking sunshine and rainbows, so I would not be shocked if there was some sort of a situation there where there is a good person as a part of a bad group of people, like a gang within that universe, that is trying to care for an orphan of some tragedy that happened that honestly they probably caused. It's a tale as old as time. They cover it a lot in media. It's nothing necessarily new, but it's the intricacies of the relationship and the dynamic that specifically those two or more characters have together that really make it stand out. And for this, what makes it stand out so much is the gorgeous, gorgeous music. I mean, they, yet again, as I said in the beginning, they haven't failed me yet. They still haven't. What a beautiful piece. I adore the percussion. Like I mentioned that during the reaction, the percussion in this one is so bright and alive, and it's got so many different like bridges and fills in there that keep things connected that they're doing a lot more often. Like a lot more of their recent stuff has had that flavor in there. I don't know what their drummer drank to be able to add this much more like emphasis into the song. If they got got a new percussionist maybe, or they're just letting the percussionist be more a part of the whole constructive process of the song, but they are knocking it out of the park with those accents and choices in there. Some of them very unique and very fun. Stuff that isn't standardized and really wouldn't come off well in most songs, but when you play it safely like this, but also just, alive, again, just very, very functional. It's not necessarily doing nothing, it's not just playing the drums because they can. They're doing bridges with it and having specific fills and gaps in those fills. The patterns and choices made there aren't just there because. They're there to specifically bridge one section of the song to the other or accent a part of the lyrics, etc. It's just really well done. It's just very musical and very aware of itself. It doesn't want to be there because it sounds cool. It's there to serve a purpose and add as a proper accent instead of just being cool. I also do love that at that one spot where I was like, man, this song got really bright. It did. Like, the song was more melancholic, and again, that tenderness. Tender is probably the best word for this song in general. But when that moment near the beginning happened where everything just kind of kicked in, the drums came in and everything just got a little bit brighter, I mean that in a literal sense. Like, the spectrum of sound in the high end of the frequencies was definitely like being saved for that moment. They added in like the cymbals and everything, and it's like, whoa, there it is, all the piano stuff was down low and they weren't mixing in that higher range at all. They were saving it for all this other like accent stuff up top and allowing the mix to be able to share that room a lot more efficiently. Very well done there. Very aware of the space. They did a phenomenal job on that. I can't get over how present this song is, for especially how tender and soft it is. It felt somehow so optimistic, yet at the same time, you could tell that there was a tragedy as a part of the bass of this song, and they didn't want to step on any toes of any instrument. They each got their own room, even when the strings came in, and that was kind of blending those together a little bit more. It did it properly by also having like a low end, like a cello in there, to be able to beef up the entire song instead of just adding mids and then making that more of a muddy mix. They made it more alive and present by adding a more broad range of frequencies instead of just slapping on another mid-range that would have fought with the voice. It would have fought with the higher end of the piano, and especially like the cymbals up there. It would have been a mess if they had done that. But what they did instead was make sure that the song stayed as broad as possible and kept each instrument to its own lane. Very, very aware, very fucking solid. I love it when they do that, and Mili has been doing that again, just very more recently, especially been very careful about that, and it makes the entire song feel better as a result, because you're not having any moments where you can't tell what's going on in the mix. You can hear Cassie's voice so much more clear. Everything is just spaced better. I don't think they're even necessarily utilizing panning much to do that. They're just making sure that it's staying in the frequency ranges that are present for those instruments and not stepping on each other's toes. That's all it takes sometimes. Panning is a great, efficient way to do that as well, making more room in the stereo space of the ears, but you don't necessarily have to do that if you're so careful about where each instrument places itself and where those highlight frequencies for each instrument are. So what more can I really say? Another beautiful song. Started slow, started calmly, it started tender, that word coming back again, and it also ended there too. So I don't necessarily think that this song as a story ended on a negative note either. If anything, it kind of just drifted off into the ether and allowed you to exist in this space with the song for a little bit. It didn't start sad like, okay, here's the beginning of our tale. It is a tragic one that gets brighter and like more positive, or darker and worse and more sad as it goes. It kind of just sticks with the emotional message of, I showed up and I wanted to help this person, and they accepted that, even if they were probably a little bit afraid to at the start, because I'm scared too, and we share that, but at the same time, we care for each other. And even if we do doubt each other sometimes, I feel like that is a present message in this song, that even if they did doubt each other at times in this relationship, and there was trust issues in there, they really truly knew deep down that there was no reason to worry, and they are both committed to this relationship, which is absolute kino. I love that they don't like just turn it into a negative message, because we've had plenty of those, and once in a while it's nice to just have something that is cute and kind of just feels like a hug from a mother figure in this case, which I'm sure together is the whole goal of this story. It's what fits the most to me, definitely lyric wise. It feels more like mother-son, mother-daughter, or like father-son, father-daughter, whichever combination works. I don't necessarily feel like it would be people of the same age, given, like, again, the fear of separation, because that's something that you would feel as a child, you know, that sense of abandonment, the fear that that could happen at any point if you don't know how to trust people yet. So that's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know how accurate I am, but again, that's why I like reading all of your lore dumps down to the comments, because that's the most efficient way for me to learn about this stuff without having to go try and, you know, sift through some wiki article that probably isn't fully written yet. I don't know how fast you guys work. You might have written it already, but either way, it's much more fun to read in comments because so many people have different takes on the story as well. Because a lot of the time, even though it is an overall story, there are different takes and different approaches, different interpretations of how their relationship is and how deep it goes. It really just depends. So leave your comment down below if you want to give me any of that information, and I suppose that's about it for this video. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, you want to request something else from Mili or Olympus Company, I know I have a few boss themes that people have been asking me to get to yet, so let me know which ones I should get to and I will make sure to do that. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!